What's going on YouTube? Claykeys back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius guide. This time we're covering the new trial that just came out and talking about tackling the plant boss Antenolla. We'll go over a team comp that I'm using here, some equipment, some items you may need, an essential overview of what the boss fight actually does, and then I'll do a step-by-step commentary of a fight where I did and actually completed killing the boss. So I hope you guys are ready. It might be a long video, but we're going to get through it together. Let's cover the team comp we're going to take into this battle. Again, I'm not using any TMs, and I'm using certain... I'm not using 5-star base units, so a lot of these should be easier for you guys to obtain. First up, we need a tank, and my go-to tank is Cecil. Obviously, a lot of you guys will be using Kiraja, being able to use Provoke with a Golem attached to him. Things like that are going to be great. He has a high HP pool, being a 6-star unit, so that's why I like to take Cecil. The next up, we're going to need a healer and a support unit. I'm going to use Refia, as she is the best right now in the game at 4-star base. She did just get a raid up recently in the Final Fantasy 3 banner. You guys can use people like Lena, but I like Refia because she also has the raise, the full life. That'll help us out in the middle of the battle, along with being able to buff our attack and defense and having an amazing heal in Kiraja. Another unit that's really important here is Call of Duty, Cloud of Dankness. COD is going to be awesome here. A lot of her abilities are going to shine here. Her kit, her support parts, like Aura Ball, which lowers the defense and has a chance to silence of all enemies in an AoE. The attack is going to be lowered by 20%. That way we can stop all of those vines, leaves, roots, and the flower from hitting us too hard using that. She also has Comeback, which is going to get rid of a lot of those status elements. AoE, get rid of on us, other team, and AoE Asuna to get rid of a lot of those status elements that this plant is going to be putting on us. So that's why I like her. There's also a part of the plant, I think it is, that has a defense, elements resist down to dark damage, and COD's dark physical single target ability is going to do great there and is just really good in general. So that's what we're going to use with the Call of Duty. Moving on, we're going to go ahead and use a character I like a lot here, and that's Black Cat Lid. The reason I'm using Black Cat Lid is that she has the ability to put on the Killer Bow. She has, so with Killer Bow having the Plant Killer, you can actually pick up the materia for Plant Killer, and you get that from the new Mystic Woods, I think is what it's called, Exploration. The newest Woods Exploration, you can get it from there from a chest, I think. And then you can also have Ifrit on her, which gives her another Plant Killer, so that's 150% more plant damage she has on her, and her ultimate blow is going to already ignore, I think it says 35% to the enemy, so that's going to be good there. She also has Focus, which at one point the plant will do massive AoE magic damage, so that can help you out if you do need to cast that. And finally, we're going to need a full break unit. I'm using Warrior of Light. The reason I want to use Warrior of Light is that he does have the ability to have Cura put on him. He is a little more tanky, so he can cover some of our squishies, things like that. Feel free to use any other ones like Agrius, maybe the new Ferris that's going to be released, whatever you guys want to use. So those are the characters I'm using for this fight, and those are the equipments I showed you right here. Now we're going to move on to what items you need to be using to make sure you're ready to go in here and battle. So this fight's going to be a really long one. It's a grindy one, okay? And MP is going to be a problem. So we're going to take Ethers. We're going to take max leakers, turbo ethers. We're going to take elixirs. Also, it does hit you with a lot of different, different kind of status elements. So we're going to take unicorn horn and echoing herbs, I think is what it's called, in order to stop the silence and possibly the paralysis from happening, just in case Asuna or COD can't get to it, things like that. And then overall, you just want to take some X potions, maybe anything to cover things you guys might be getting into, but those are my quick items I'm taking with me. Elixirs, ethers, turbo ethers, things like that are very, very important because this monster does have the ability to zap away all of your MP in one move with Vampire, I think is what it's called. It's the flower that does this, so you may need to use an elixir. Maybe your Cecil gets really low, took the Vampire, Vampiric, or whatever it's called, and then lost all his MP. The elixir can get him all the way back to full and give him all his MP back. The fight is long again, so you want that. Another great thing here that isn't really about items, but I want to mention is that Osmos is going to be very important here. You can Osmos any part of the plant and get a lot of mana back, and it's going to help us recover and make sure we stay in the fight, and we don't run out of mana points in our mana pool so that we can actually use our abilities. Now let's talk about the actual fight, what it can do, and then the best strategy around it. Okay, so this boss has like different parts to it. We have the flower, which is like the head part of it. We have an ivy, we have a root, and we have leaves, and these are all different elements of the boss battle, kind of like little mobs around the boss, being the flower, I think, is being the main part of the boss. And one main key thing I need to say here, guys, is you need to take out the flower last. If you don't, the roots, the leaves, and the what is it called? The Ivy will do a move called Running Rampant. It's going to do physical damage to all enemies. It's going to hurt you. It does a lot of damage. You can't do it that way. I think the flower should be killed last, and that's what I'm going with here. Overall, this boss is it's kind of just like a tank. It's like it's a slow repetition fight. So it's going to do a lot of damage to you, and then you're going to heal it up, and you're going to go. A lot of the time you're going to get paralyzed. You could get poisoned. You could get blind. You could get silenced. All of these parts can do this to you. So there is an order to it that people say you should kill it in, and that's ivy, root, leaves, and flower. So flower being the last. The flower can do pollen, which is going to do magic damage to someone, and it's going to do one random status element to somebody. That one's not too bad. The random status element will have covered by something else. You know, soon, you know, CODs, comeback, things like that. But the one move I really can't stand that this flower does is Vampire. It's going to do physical damage, which is whatever. I mean, it's a large hit, but it's something you can cure through. But then they absorb the MP. It like takes all of your MP away. It's so annoying. You'll see it in my fight how I get upset by it, but it sucks. It also has an ability called Prismatic Spore, magic and one random element to all enemies, and it's used below 60 HP and 30 HP. And this is the magic damage big hitting thing I was talking about, where once you pass the 60% threshold, it's going to do magic damage and pretty much put a bunch of status elements on you. You want to have either focus on, or you just want to be at full health, have it full broken so that its magic damage isn't that much to you. Remember, it's going to happen at 60% HP and 30% HP, and this is the hardest hitting ability you can do unless you kill the flower first and the plant part starts smashing you in the face. Other than that, guys, it's like a tank and spank. You know, Rampage happens also. So Rampage and Prismatic Spore, excuse me, both happen at 60% and 30% HP, and it's just a lot of magic damage that happens to you, along with getting the status elements on you. So those are the biggest part of this fight. Besides that, it's just a grind, be slow, use as little MP as you can, heal up, make sure you're buffed up, things like that. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to our actual battle, and I'll try to commentate the best I can over when I actually took it down, and hopefully this helps you guys out, and this guide will help you take it down too. Okay, guys, so here we go. We're getting into the battle here. I'm going to do my best to commentate this. We're going to choose a friend unit here, and I'm going to choose Luneth, and the reason being is that Luneth has that resist to being a lot of those status elements. Here I'm checking out this Luneth, and I noticed that he has a Churi Girardin. One thing I didn't mention is that they do have fire resist, they do have some resistances, so you want to use non-elemental weapons here. And I noticed that he doesn't have Plant Killer, but I say whatever. He has a 547 Luneth, and that's okay with me, and that's what I'm going to take. It would be nice if he had the Plant Killer materia along with the Ifrit to stack up, but that's alright, because that's just what we're going to have to deal with here. So moving on into the battle, again, what you want to do is you want to keep your Emboldener cheer up. That's what we're going to do. Cloud of Darkness is going to go ahead and cast Aura Ball. That way we can hit everybody with the attack down on the team. Full break, the first thing you're going to do is use it on the flower, because the flower hits the hardest, and we want its attack and attack damage down as much as possible to help us out. Black Cat Lid's going to go ahead and use Ultimate Blow, and we're going to take out the Vine first here. We're going to use Provoke with our tank, and then our Luneth is going to go ahead and use Raging Fist. And the reason I'm using Raging Fist instead of the bigger hitting ability is that we want to conserve MP, and it's not a race, it's more of a you know, a marathon. We're going to take our time, we're going to go through here. And I noticed that we have been you know, confused here, and that kind of sucks, but we're going to go ahead and cast Asuna on him and get that off of him, and that's going to be okay. Moving on, the Warrior of Light is going to use Cura because we're, you know, a little low on HP on a couple of our units, and both of our healers are out of commission right now. We're going to use Call of the Void, I think, here. Again, it's going to do the most damage, single target, because Mirage is going to be all over the place. And I think the Vine is also, you know, has some negative resist to dark damage, so that's going to help us there. And we're just going to go ahead and use all of our abilities, hit it up as hard as we can, start knocking it down. And guys, it's pretty simple. Like, this is how it goes. It's going to do mad damage to everybody. Everybody's getting smacked around, but now it's time to recover. Warrior of Light is pretty low, but, you know, we can use Kuraja, get back in there. I think I used Kuraga here, and that's a mistake. Don't do that, guys. I thought Kuraga would heal for more, but it ends up not doing it. If you look, it's kind of like doesn't heal from anything at all. So I think Kuraja there would have been better. I used Cecil to use Kuraja, and then we just repeat the steps again. Call of the Void. I used Ultimate Blow here, I think, but we could have used Raging Fist. I was thinking on it. And I'm like, actually, I want to get rid of one of the components first, so I'm going to go ahead and use Cut Through, because I'm going to be using my, you know, Turbo Ethers and stuff like that on Luneth, and also he has the MP recovery on his own. But, you know, if I get rid of the Vine, that's just one thing less I have to worry about, okay? So that's why I do this. If you look, he just got Vampire cast on Cecil, so he has no MP, and he also is paralyzed. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Black Cat Lid to use a Unicorn Horn on him and get him back into where he can do some stuff for me. Rethia is, I think, is going to use Karaja here to heal up our team. One thing I want to point out is you can full break every piece of him. So every piece of this plan. So you can go around in like a clockwise circle and just start full breaking everything. That way they hit you less hard. It doesn't really matter about them taking damage, you know what I mean? Because essentially, you know, you're hitting everything one at a time. You're not hitting anything AoE. So again, I use cut through, and then I use the dark damage ability. I'm trying to get rid of this vine here, so I don't have to worry about it actually hitting me or doing any of its abilities. So there we go. It uses all of its abilities. We have a really low Warrior of Light. We're going to go ahead and cast Kuraja here, I do believe. Essentially, what we want to keep our mind on here is to make sure that our full breaks are on. We have Aura Ball cast. You know, sometimes I forget that in this fight, I think. And we have full break on. Other than that, have everybody up and just slowly grind it. When you see opportunities where you don't have to cast anything like Provoke or Cure, use Ethers. Get your team's MP back up, because that's what we're going to need. So as you can see here, I think I use Cura, and then I use Kuraja with my Cecil, because he has a lot of MP, and also the fact I want to kind of spend his MP as fast as possible, because I think Vampire's going to hit him again. So I'm just like, all right, I just need to get my health up and use Cecil's MP as much as possible, because if it gets taken away, it's going to suck a lot. So here I full break the head again, because I don't want the next turn for it to be doing a lot of massive damage to me. And then we just go ahead and do cut through, and I think I do ultimate blow, and we're trying to take this this vine down. I get it really low and it doesn't die, and it really sucks that happened. If you notice that my Luneth and my Cloud of Darkness are both low on MP, so I need to make sure I'm aware of that and use things like Osmos with my Cloud of Darkness, because I do have Osmos on my Cloud of Darkness here through the Esper. Also with Refia, I end up using Shiva here, but Carbuncle is released, guys, so you can definitely use Carbuncle if needed. But yeah, it's kind of repetitive here, guys, but I just want to talk about things. Maybe I'll remember some things you want to talk about. Notice how I go to use an Elixir, and I'm going to use it on Cloud of Darkness. The reason being, Cloud of Darkness is really low, out of MP. Might as well Elixir, get everything back up to full, so I can use Cloud of Darkness to the fullest I can later on. And we just continue through this, guys. We continue through here. We keep pushing. Kuraja is used. Full Break is used. And then Luneth, I think I don't know. I just auto attack here because I don't want to waste any MP. I could have used a 3 MP because it didn't really matter, but I thought the auto attack would take it down, and that's what ends up happening, so that's cool. That was pretty awesome. And then he hits us really hard here with a bunch of abilities. And I think Cecil got his MP taken away too again, which sucked. Yeah, he has no MP. So like you'll see this revolving door of me using Ethers on him, like the tiny Ethers, because I don't want him to have too much MP just in case he gets Vampire to get taken away. But I also need him to be casting Provoke. So I'm like, I need him to have at least a little bit of MP to be casting Provoke, while at the same time, you know, doing the best I can. And I think I go for Leaves here. I think that's the leaves. I think the root is like the little one up here. I think I just choose that out of just like I'm just going to get rid of it. I think that's the next step I'm going to do. And again, Raging Fist, conserving mana because he's not close to being dead. So might as well just conserve the mana, let it rebuild, and keep going at it. Guys, it's like the grindiest fight. I know I keep saying this, but like, just think about it. This fight's gonna go on for a little bit more. We still have 2 things we need to kill on top of killing the plant. So, I'm always checking for, you know, if it's full broken or not. So I see that that's not full broke. So I'm gonna go ahead and use full break on it and knock everything down so the root's not hitting me as hard as it could be. This is a game of like trying to conserve your MP while also making sure that all your buffs are up, everybody's cured, there are no status summons that are really hurting your team too much, and they're not hitting you as hard. So it's kind of like a cool little, it's a really cool fight. It's a fight that requires a lot of thinking, in my opinion, when you don't have a TM'd out team. So if you look here, I have a bunch of MP with everybody, and everybody's full health. Besides Warrior of Light, and we're doing good. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a lot of damage here. I'm going to take this time to just chain everything together with Ultimate Blow, the Dark ability, and then use Luneth, and just do as much damage as possible. The one thing about Warrior of Light that makes me sad sometimes is that he likes to cover Cecil, and while that may be good, I kind of just wish Cecil would take it himself because he has so much HP, and the Warrior of Light is kind of like taking the damage because he's not as strong as Cecil is right now because he is a 5-star. But, you know, we move on. Again, you'll see me using Turbo Ethers, things like that when I get worried about things being low. People running out of MP because Black Cat Lead was running a little low, so I'll go ahead and use it on her. We full break the plant part again, then we get back to just smacking the root in the face. I decided there, since I used the ether, I was going to go ahead and use Ultimate Blow because I had a lot of mana to use and things like that. And again, the quicker you kill these things down, the less you have to deal with them, right? So the fight gets easier as you go along. Except for the fact that your mana's running out. It's like a you know, on those games where you turn over a sand timer and the timer's running out. That's pretty much how it is with your mana, because it is running and running low, and you have to be careful with that. So, you guys are probably watching this. Just watch what I'm doing here. Again, it's just rinse and repeat, guys. It's rinse and repeat. I'm gonna go ahead and step out and just let you guys watch the fight. I hope you guys enjoy. So wasn't that enjoyable? It was a long, boring fight. If you guys stayed till the end, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope this helps you guys get this mace, because the Thorn Mace is going to be amazing on COD. It's going to make your Call of Darkness very, very good. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below with if you're having a hard time with it or questions. We can all try to help you out in this community. And subscribe for future guides and content. We'll see you guys later. It's okay, we'll learn how to handle that in his unit review, unit spotlight. But, and then his TM's okay. I think it's holy, but it's, you know, not the best. Not something I would really farm for, because you don't really need it. I mean, who doesn't want a dual cast meteor? I mean, that's where I'm on right now. So XDeath is awesome. This banner is awesome, and 3-star pool. You get XDeath, Paris, or Butts.